Greetings, Apreneurs. Recently, I did an interview with my favorite Guyanese author, Ric Couchman, who has just released a new book, The Little Boy from Water Street. It's a Caribbean literature book. You wrote this last book in retirement, and the other one was, I think, too, on the cusp of retirement. What role does writing play in retirement for you? And what advice would you give to others who are contemplating writing in retirement?
Yeah. Well, retirement is an unfortunate term, basically. And the question is, retired from what? And then it's also value loaded, because when you talk about retirement, it's like it says something about age. It's sort of like understood something about age. So, oh, that person is 65 and over, depending on what's the age of retirement as such. But it's an unfortunate term. What it simply is basically a sort of a change in your labor status. That's what it is. We're not retired. And then a retiree is not. Again, we're not defined by that. That's not my essence. That's just an action. I'm no longer working in the daily workforce, so to speak. And I'm happy with that, basically. So what that does is that it gives me a lot more time to do some of the things that I like, and some of the things that I don't like, the writing part. but it gives me time to sort of reflect a lot more. And if I were not, if I were still employed, I don't know if I would have finished the book, The Little Boy from Water Street. And so, but from my personal experience, not no longer being employed, and by choice, is a good thing from that standpoint, because then I can really now, those of us who are in this state, we can really now focus on things that maybe we really wanted to do but didn't have the time to do because we were encumbered with the daily grind of working 9 to 5 or whenever. So if it weren't for the fact that I'm no longer employed, this book would not have come to fruition. And because of this, now there's another book that I'm that I'm working on. And then I also I actually, there's one that I just finished, basically, which is basically pulling together my what I consider my best poems from the 5 books of poetry that I produced, and I'm going to put those together into one package, so an anthology as such. My best poems, my best storytelling poems, and that should be released soon. The title of that is a Requiem for Shira. And then there's one that is in the works, which is another novel. It's called From Faith to Faith, basically. Now, from faith to faith is a biblical term, and again, now I make no apologies for the fact that I am channeling my influences. Like I said, I was heavily influenced by Christianity and Hinduism and Islam, and so it's par for the course, basically. Now, this doesn't mean, though, that my books are religious books. No, not by any stretch. Anybody can read my books. Now, they're more philosophical than they are religious, I would say. Because in a sense they expresses a worldview my worldview, basically. And so from faith to faith is going to be an interesting one, and I'm really excited about it, basically. And I think I'm going to wrap it up after that, and go out into the woods and do my thing in the woods, live among the deer and other wild animals in the forest. And, yeah, but this is the best time, I think, to sort of do the things that one might be really interested in doing, but never had the time to do because of the encumbrance of the other 9 to 5 kind of stuff.
I love it. I absolutely love it, because we share a similar philosophy on retirement. And this is part of what I'm trying to address in the course. I'm using the language and the lingo that people can understand.
Yeah, of course.
Right and retire, right. And I said, in terms of my Christian perspective on retirement, we are worker humans made in the image of a worker God. So right. As we get older, the type and the pace of the work changes, but work is part of our design and our worth. And so it's a matter of what activity will you do? It's a change of the pace. And I have a 9-minute video on perspectives on retirement. And I like what you said, that it gives you the time now to do the things you could not do. And I love the fact that you said that, had you not retired from the active workforce, you would not perhaps have finished The Little Boy from Water Street. And no, it's not just The Little Boy from Water Street. You have 2 other works. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, just reminding you that of the making of books, there is no end. Go pen it to win it and dominate entrepreneurship. Ta for now, until next time.